Hi Sagittarius, here's your horoscope overview for 2024 brought to you by planetswithin.com. I'm astrologer Joseph Anthony. All right, this is going to be a monumental year for many. The planets, the outer planets, are definitely going to make a significant change this year. And your ruler, Jupiter, will start off the year right on the 1st in direct motion in the sign of Taurus in your 6th house. And so this is going to be a very significant year for many of you. So if you're a Sagittarius sun or a Sagittarius rising, this is going to be a big year for many of you for work, health matters, daily routine, taking care of employees, animals, pets, caregiving. All of that stuff is going to be on the table because of Jupiter moving direct in the 6th house. But on May the 25th of 2024, Jupiter switches signs and goes into Gemini, which is your 7th house. And this is where you find yourself socializing a lot more and bringing in more people into your life. And so it's going to be a very social, part of your life the second half of the year. Now, when we do astrology, we look at the outer planets because they're the most significant, because they're slower moving. So I'll go over all of the outer planets as we get through this session. But the eclipses are also very important because they indicate doorways that are opening for possibilities and doorways that are closing. And so this year we have 4 of them that are very significant, as they all are. But one is going to be in Aries, which is very favorable for you guys. And then we have 2 in Libra, which represents some of your thinking and processing and communication. So everything this year seems to revolve around communication, self-expression, helping others, work, career, anything to do with health matters, whether it's your own or someone else's. These seem to be the themes here that are going on. So let me dive into it and explain a little bit more about what I see. So here's Jupiter going direct on the very first day of the year in Taurus. And Taurus is all about, monies, values, beliefs. It's about tradition. It's being set in a certain way of looking at things. And so this energy starts to move gradually as we go through the month of January. Now, the second half of January can be quite different than the first half because Jupiter is moving forward and getting closer and closer to Uranus, they will meet up in April in that 6th house. So I'll get to that too. I have a slide for that. But Jupiter is going to move forward to help a lot of you guys out. And then Jupiter enters Gemini on the 25th. So this is going to be everything associated with the Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter in Gemini is very curious, loves to think, loves to process information, much like your sign, except Gemini likes to do it more on a fickle way and a more, just balancing or trying to juggle different things at the same time. And so this is going to really ramp up your mental capacities when Jupiter enters Gemini in that 7th house. You're going to want to talk. You're going to want to hear people. You're going to want to interact. You're going to want to, just express yourself and want to hear what other people have to say. There's definitely a deep curiosity. And you might find your energy kind of all over the board because there's so much energy coming in. So Jupiter in Gemini is going to be huge. It'll be there all the way until June of 2025. And so very big time. We also have Saturn. Now Saturn will continue to make its way through Pisces all the way through February 2026. Now this is actually a pretty good alignment because Saturn is all about structure and restrictions and limitations. But in Pisces, it seems to work very well because Pisces is imagination, fantasy, illusion, spirituality. And when you bridge these two together, when Saturn is transiting Pisces, it's actually quite beneficial. So you'll find yourself continuing to work on matters related to spirit, spirituality, mysticism. You're learning a lot of karmic lessons from the efforts that you put in, because Saturn represents karma. And you're being more compassionate and understanding when it comes to your work and when it comes to some of the people in your life. You're feeling the need to connect with them or, wanting to experience something at a deeper level. And family matters, family dynamics, this has all been playing a major role and will continue to throughout 2024. Uranus, this is going to be another big one because it'll go direct on the 27th of January in your 6th house, which has a lot to do with health, service, work, daily routine, taking care of others. And once it starts moving direct, then that energy starts to move. So direct just means that the energy is moving forward. And, when it's retrograde, it's going within, or the planet has dropped behind the Earth, so the energy is weakened. So, but now with Uranus going forward with Jupiter in that 6th house, the sky's the limit with taking care of daily routines and wanting to improve your health or changing your diet. Lots of surprises in the mix when Uranus is moving direct. And no matter where it is, it's in Taurus, so it has a lot to do with your values and beliefs and financial matters. So these are all on the forefront when we see this moving forward. Now, the big news really is Pluto re-entering Aquarius again. And that'll happen on the 20th and 21st. And Pluto is the great destroyer. Pluto is the sign or symbol that transforms things. And so when it enters the sign of Aquarius, which is the sign of humanity, technology, innovation, the technical side of life, and these are all the key words associated with Aquarius and Pluto in Aquarius and how it's going to revolutionize a lot of these areas, we're going to see more of a visionary state of mind. Now, your sign, Sagittarius, is a very visionary sign, and so is Aquarius. And so you might find yourself throughout the year at times really having visions of the near future or premonitions or thoughts about, what's going to happen to humanity and that sort of thing. And so make no mistake, we are going to see a lot of changes to society. And so Pluto in Aquarius is going to begin to revolutionize how you process information, how you begin to see things and the people around you, how you continue to distance yourself from people that are not on your level anymore. Not that you're better or anyone's better or worse. It's just it's a vibrational shift. Okay, think of it in terms of energy. You're someone that wants to know the meaning of life and the purpose of life and why we're here and so on and so forth. And if you come across people that just don't comprehend that or have any idea of that, it's going to be easy for you to just walk away from those situations because they're not in the same levels anymore. You see, that's what I'm referring to. And so we're going to see a lot of that. A lot of technology is going to be a major factor this year for many of you because of Pluto in Aquarius. And again, I'll go over all this. So here is the overall chart, horoscope chart at the beginning of the year. And we can see your ruler Jupiter here going in direct motion. Here's Uranus that's going to go direct on the 27th. Here is Saturn in Pisces in the 4th house of home, feeling, and foundation. Here's Pluto that's going to make its way into your 3rd house of communication. So your brain is going to be percolating. And we start off the year with Mars, Mercury, and Venus all in Sagittarius. So you're pretty much starting off the new year in an optimistic mindset because you're feeling the ruler Jupiter also picking up speed. So many of you are thinking of moving, reinventing yourselves, changing how you do things, your belief systems. All of this is on the table, especially with the sun going through Capricorn in the 2nd house of income. So it looks like you're working hard, you're focusing on new adventures and new things that you want to accomplish. Now, when we go towards the end of the month, Uranus and Pluto both are making major changes here. So on the 20th and 21st, we have Pluto entering the 3rd house, conjunct the sun. And so this is like sudden revelations, sudden awarenesses, sudden insight. And so pay attention to that because you may be having an important conversation about something, about the future, about income, about money, about investments. This is all seems to be the theme here. And it could be that you're having this conversation with a neighbor or a friend or a sibling for that matter. It could be a family dynamic. It could be a real estate matter because Saturn is in the 4th and we also have 3 planets now in Capricorn at this time. So also here is Uranus in stationary position, getting ready to go direct in the 6th house. So it's opening up all these possibilities for many of you, like I said, who have a sunrise in the Sagittarius or a sun sign in Sagittarius. And again, this is a very general overview because I don't have everybody's birthday and birth chart. Everyone's birth chart is different. So depending on where these activate your parts of your chart, that's the area that gets lit up. But definitely more energy building up as we go into the end of January. Now, here are the major transits that you need to watch. And as you can see here, there's a lot of Jupiter connections that you want to pay attention to. So jot down these dates or take a screenshot of this, because anytime around these time frames that I've given you are going to be very important. You'll see major events taking place, or meeting important people, or having some major changes occurring. And usually it happens about a week or two before these dates, and usually about a week after. So it's like the energy's coming in, and then it hits, and then it slowly dissipates. So here's the January 20th. That's huge. Pluto enters Aquarius. That is your third house of communication. So you may be overloaded with so much thought and so many things coming in that it could be overwhelming. April the 20th, another significant event. Jupiter conjuncts Uranus in Taurus, in that sixth house. So pay attention to your work, your job, your daily routine, health matters. These are all on the table. Sudden surprises are often associated with Jupiter conjuncting Uranus. May the 23rd, another very positive alignment. Jupiter sextiles Neptune. This is from your sixth house to your fourth house, excuse me. So something to do with the home, family life, health matters relating to someone else could be on the table. And on the 25th, Jupiter enters Gemini. And so this is all about other people. Then we have a really, really nice alignment between Jupiter and Pluto. And that's in your third house all the way to your your seventh house. So you have a lot of communication in the works in June here. So maybe you're meeting new people, or you're helping new people out, or you're just in a new neighborhood and you're making your way around, getting to know people. This is going to be very important. Now, the second half of the year looks a little bit more stranger or wonkier, and especially having to do with this. On the 19th, we have the first of two squares between Jupiter and Saturn, which has to do with Jupiter is going to be in Gemini in your seventh house, squaring Saturn in your fourth house of home, feeling, and foundation. So there may be a decision to be made here with a partner, or having to do with a real estate matter, or a move, or a roommate, or whoever you have in your life at that time. It could be a bit of a struggle here to make this decision, or an uncomfortable situation with a family member. And so pay attention to that. September 1st, Pluto retrogrades back into Capricorn. It'll only go back into the last degree of Capricorn at 29 degrees, which is really still Aquarius. Anytime a planet reaches the last degree of a sign, it's usually taking on the characteristics of the next sign. So it's really Aquarius, Capricorn, and this will be back into the second, third house for many of you. So there might be some financial matters on the table here in September that you'll have to be dealing with. November, Pluto re-enters Aquarius and stays there for the next 20 years. And so it'll be in that third house of communication, ideas, self-expression, and it'll be revolutionizing how you think. But then when we go towards the end of the year, in December, Mars goes retrograde in Leo, and everything, there seems to be a bit of a slowdown going on, or a weirdness going on. As I've said in my overall 2024 video, that the fall season of 2024 seems to be very strange and very weird energy coming in. And it could be anything from extraterrestrials to economic situations, or something going on in the country that's really taking hold of us. And then, of course, at the very end of the year, Jupiter makes that other square to Saturn, which again is very heavy, discomforting energy that we're all going to be feeling. But once again, whatever this issue is on the 19th, it seems to be repeated again on January the 24th into 2025. So we want to pay attention to all these dates, because they're going to be very significant throughout the year. Now, the eclipses. These are always big indicators for the year. And as you can see here, we have one on March the 25th, lunar eclipse, which is endings, completions, realizations in the sign of Libra, partnerships, relationships, balance. We also have another one on October the 2nd. This one is a solar eclipse, new opportunities, new partnerships. But in between that, we have one very powerful eclipse right here on April the 8th, which is a total solar eclipse in Aries. It's in another fire sign like yours, so we could expect absolutely something new, creative, that's going to be put forth, and it's nonstop. because it's in the sign of Aries. And then September 17th, we have a partial lunar eclipse in Pisces, which could bring something to an end in terms of the home life, a move, something about a family dynamics. So let's go into each of these charts and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here's the first eclipse, lunar eclipse on the 25th. It's going to be at 5 degrees of Libra. So if this is in your actual birth chart, that's the area that gets lit up. And it's going to be in the 11th house. So it has to do with the future, has to do with hopes and wishes, acquaintances, clubs, organizations, people that are in your life just temporarily. So it could bring a closure to some of that in your life. Of course, it'll be opposing the sun here in the 5th. So there could be some new creative endeavors that are waiting to unfold. But notice all these planets in the 4th house, and they're all in Pisces. So this could be something to do with a real estate matter, a home, a family dynamic, a sibling, somebody close to you that you may have to pay attention to. So, this is what this is indicating. But this one here, this is highly explosive, big time. 19 degrees of Aries, wherever that is in your actual birth chart. This is in the 5th house. So this is going to light a fire under many of you to do something new, to go in a new direction, to have more fun, to be more loving, to be more assertive in your plans and endeavors. This is definitely going to be one that's going to ignite a lot of passion. Could be a new business venture because of Jupiter in the 6th house. Or maybe it's you taking control of your health and saying, enough, I've got to take care of my well-being. Whatever it is, it's going to ignite a certain amount of passion because you notice we have a lot of planets in Aries here, including a Mercury retrograde, which could cause a little bit, a blip of confusion, not a lot, but something from the past may resurface also during this eclipse. The next eclipse on the 17th has to do with Pisces, and so it's going to be a very heavy full moon because it is going to be at 25 degrees of Pisces, which is very closely conjunct Neptune at 28 degrees. And this one, again, like I said, the fall, the energy seems to be very weird, very strange. We are looking at very interesting dynamics towards the end of the year. And since this is in your 4th house of feeling, home, and foundation, this could have something to do with a mother figure or a family member or a home or a very nostalgic time. But it can be a little bit more depressing or sad for some reason, okay, because of the closeness to Neptune. But it's also squaring Jupiter in Gemini in the 7th. So there could be an issue with a partner or partnership. Maybe like a real estate matter in a partnership, or maybe there's a loved one there that wants to move out and there's dynamic changes occurring to the relationship. It could be anything of that nature, but whatever it is, it's definitely more spiritual in nature, but it's also sad or a little depressing on sometimes. And I'm not trying to be negative here. It's just the kind of energy when we have this heavy, energy from Saturn. We also have the heavy energy of Neptune, and we have the square to Jupiter, your ruler. So this could be something having to do with a partnership, there. The last solar eclipse, again, has to do with partnerships, but this time, notice it is a solar eclipse, which is new doorway on the 2nd, bringing in new opportunity. So this is how the eclipses work. A lunar eclipse will close a door and a solar eclipse will open a door. And so this is one at 10 degrees of Libra. So this is suggesting a new direction, a new neighborhood, a new friendships, new organizations, new hopes and wishes for the future. And so this is October. It's setting the trend for something new that's meant to come in. And so, whatever that is going to be for you guys, it has to do with other people and socializing. This is a very social year for many of you. Here are the Mercury retrogrades for the year. Jot them down. Very important. Here is the first one. Not as strong because we're coming out of the retrograde from December into 2024. It's in Sagittarius, your sign. So, as soon as it starts moving direct, you're feeling more confident and you're understanding what you need to do. Okay. So that's going to start really picking up speed in January. But this one in April, this Mercury retrogrades in Aries. So you've got either projects on the table or you've got things on the table that you really want to do. And you might find a slight bit of hesitation because of Mercury going retrograde. But because we're going to be sandwiched in between the eclipses, especially the Aries eclipse, that's not going to slow you down at all. So something from the past will resurface so that you could, go with it head on. August 5th, we have a Mercury retrograde in Virgo. This has a lot to do with career matters. You may be thinking about retiring, or maybe something to do with an advancement, or, a sense of purpose of what you're doing with your work. So you may be questioning all of that. Remember that square is going to come in at the end of the year. At the end of August, towards the 19th, which will have you questioning everything. Then on November 25th, the Mercury retrogrades again in Sagittarius, and this is again where you start questioning yourself about who am I, where am I going, is this what I really want? But I believe at that time we have something going on in society that's affecting all of us, not just you guys personally, but it could be economic, it could be social events, it could be cosmic events. As I pointed out, we can be bombarded by intense amounts of energy coming in, which is being scientifically proven. So there could be a whole bunch of things that it could occur in this fall that is affecting us outside of yourself. So here are the key dates that I want you guys to pay attention to. Anything in red is highlighted on purpose because I want you to pay attention to those dates. They're the most significant. And so here we have the Sun conjunct Pluto, third house communication, ideas, percolating. On February the 14th, Mars conjuncts Pluto. This is a very powerful time where travel and exploration and self-expression are definitely at the forefront. March the 9th, Mars squares Uranus. And so here we are again with a lot of heavy energy that's motivating you to change in some way with your career. Health matters and caring for others. And then, of course, we have these three down here that are very significant, as I pointed out, especially the April 20th with the Jupiter conjunct Uranus, that's your ruler, in the 6th house. And then again, the Sun conjunct Uranus in the 6th house. So these are very important for work, health matters, caring for others, pets, or daily routine, changing them up in some way. Here's the continuation of it. Very favorable alignment between June 2nd and around that time to Pluto. But as you can see how I highlighted all of these in red, because that's when it starts getting really wonky and tricky the second half of the year. With Jupiter, in July 15th, Mars conjuncting Uranus again in Taurus. That's the 6th house. So work and responsibilities could overwhelm. And here we have that August 19th, Jupiter square Saturn. Pluto going retrograde or conjuncting, Capricorn again. Lunar Eclipse, need to pay attention. That's going to be a very significant time for many of you in this September time frame. But after we get to October, things start to shift again, having to do with your future. And then, as you can see here, the energy starts to move forward again. And then November the 19th, Pluto enters or conjuncts Aquarius again. And then we have a big slowdown at the end of the year for some reason because of Mars retrograde and Jupiter squaring Saturn for the last time. So we've got this really weird wave of energy coming in. I'd say take advantage of all this energy for the first 7 months of 2024. It seems to be the most positive and exhilarating. So set things in motion, lay the foundation for what it is you want in the first 7 months, and then ride it out and see and adjust accordingly the rest of the year of 2024. Okay? And to get you through it, always remember this. This is what I do every single day of my life. I remind myself of who I really am. I am not this body. I'm not this mind. I am not my title. I am not my things. I am some sort of spiritual being of light, of source. And every cell of my body is made up of this source we call God. I call it source because that's where we come from. The energy of this universe is some sort of source of energy that we can't exactly comprehend it, but we know it's there. Okay? And the more you align with that within yourself, you don't have to worship anything, you align within yourself and you become one with it, the more power you have and the more at peace you become, the more you begin to realize your reality and you begin to change it. So this is very important. Always remind yourself of that. Anyway, if you like this video, please subscribe, like, and share. Follow me on social media platforms. And, of course, I'll do my best to keep you informed throughout the year. Have a great year, Sagittarius, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. Bye for now.